what's actually going on with Manchester United's clear out this summer. It's time for Man United to be ruthless right now. You know, we've got talks of Sancho going to Juventus and looks like that is advancing to be done. But there's now Marcus Rashford expected talks with Barcelona about to happen very, very soon. And it only came out today. It's long. I'm not going to lie. It's super frustrating knowing that you want to get a move on for this manager. You want to get a move on for this club. And everything's just a little bit too slow. And we need this to happen as fast as possible because we all know that Barcelona have financial issues, right? And we know that they've just had this breach. And we knew that was always going to be the plan. And they probably knew that was always going to be the plan with UEFA. But they still put up money for Nico Williams. Manchester United cannot be taken for a ride with this one. With Barcelona and how dodgy they really are when it comes to all these payments, he needs to be moved on permanently. You know, we saw that Cunha is going to take the number 10 shirt. And rightfully so. With Marcus Rashford saying that he's committed to coming back, it's a little bit too fishy for me and say he's about to give 100%, knowing that Amorim has also requested that he does not return. You know, and I know he's willing to give it 100%. That's fine. I have no issues with that personally. But if the manager doesn't want him around, then so be it, right? Same thing with Sancho. If he's not going to be willing to come back 100%, which he's not, the manager has also requested that he doesn't come back. They've all put in transfer requests. Not that not like anyone's shocked. Anthony, Garnacho, and so forth and so forth. But with the latest on Marcus Rashford, and we all know that he's been absolutely twerking night and day for Barcelona to get it over the line. Now, with Luis Diaz apparently not being available for any European clubs on the request of Liverpool, you know, with Bayern Munich, they're trying to shift him to Saudi instead. You know, go get all that cash, which helps them in abundance to see what they can probably do for the rest of the summer. So that really leaves Marcus Rashford only. But if you're willing to put up the 51 million release clause, pounds, for Nico Williams, that must mean surely you have got along the lines of 35 to 40 million pounds in the regions for Marcus Rashford. I think Manchester United are absolutely correct in this stance for him. You know, loans are not really needed at this point, considering we want to go and buy who we need to go and buy. You know, we need as much cash as possible, correct? And it's also been mentioned that, you know, Rashford is 100% willing to take a pay cut to pay for the Catalonians. So on that front, United definitely should stand firm with this one. It might take a little bit longer, but Barcelona need to get their house in order. You know, when it comes to this 1-to-2 ratio thing that they're on or whatever it is, you know, they need to go back onto the 1-to-1. So that means they can, you know, advocate for more wages and you can go from 60% to 70, 80% and they can go do more, meaning they're not going to be breaching no financial fair play rules. I don't know. But we all know when it comes to that mafia, it's literally going to be sorted at one point, sooner rather than later. Now, if they are going to move for him, they are going to want a loan. Of course they are, because it suits them. But with Barcelona needing transfers this summer to bolster the ranks of, Hansi Flick's side, to probably go and do another, like the double retaining, then yeah, make that move for Marcus Rashford. Like, it's kind of funny how he's been third choice this whole time. You know, Nico Williams, Luis Diaz, not get none of them. But, you know, when it comes to this Marcus Rashford situation, how badly do they really want him? What about Bayern Munich? What if they're open? I hope that he's not literally putting all his eggs in that basket, meaning that's going to, you know, pretty much cripple Man United's transfer plans. We can't be in that kind of groove. It's not right now. This summer is like the most important summer that we've ever come across in probably our Manchester United supporting lives. And same thing with Jadon Sancho. You know, Juventus are happy to put the 25 million, where we all know that the wages have been the stumbling block. The stumbling block of that hefty, I don't know, is it 250, 225k now after all the cuts? There might be a situation where United need to pay off a little bit. But I've seen with Juventus, the latest, that they're willing to agree a termination deal for Vlahovic. So that means they can free up some wage space, meaning that they can probably bring in another forward, meaning they can probably bring in the likes of Jadon Sancho, even though recently he said that he's willing to accept 5 million euros plus like 3 million in bonuses as a total package. So that might suit that man right there. And he also needs to be another one that just gets shifted as soon as possible. But United, again, they must be ruthless. And sometimes you might have to accept some losses. Because at this point, the PSR is fine. So some loss on the PSR might not be exactly the worst case scenario in the world. It's now flipped over. And if you do believe that Manchester United, in terms of Jason Wilcox and the rest of them, if you're going to go and lose out, that means you're going to go and find some as well in the same breath. You know, Elanga, you know, we're talking about getting roughly about 6 to 8 million out of that deal there, unless the bid's improved. It looks like it's going further forward. Alvaro Fernandez, you know, after Rodrigo's sell and after all the Club World Cup money as well, I'm pretty sure, as it's been reported, that they're going to go in and trigger that release clause of 42 million. United retain a 40 to 50% sell-on clause for that man. That means another 16 to potentially 21 million right there. So it might not be all doom and gloom for us. You know, this whole Mbeumo stuff's taking forever. But again, this got to be the plan. Rashford has got to go as soon as possible. Sancho has got to go as soon as possible. And the rest of them, who knows what may happen. It is a frustrating time to be a United fan, but I think we got to be a little bit more patient. Maybe July is there's gonna be like a domino effect where everything just falls into place eventually. But the biggest but is how willing are you to be patient? Smash the likes. Subscribe. Back for another video soon.